Most travelers over 60 already know how stressful the boarding gate can feel. The noise, the rushing crowds, the unclear announcements. And yet, the biggest trouble at the gate doesn't come from what airlines say, it comes from what they don't. There are unwritten rules at the boarding gate that almost no older traveler is ever told, and breaking them can lead to confusion, embarrassment, or delays that ruin your entire start to the trip. Mistake 1. Crowding the gate too early. It sounds simple, but the truth is, many older travelers step forward early because they worry about losing overhead bin space, missing an announcement, or just not hearing their group number in time, and that's completely understandable. Airports today are louder and more chaotic than they've ever been. But, here's the twist, most seniors never hear. Stepping up too early can trigger a brand new boarding security technology that literally denies you with a loud error beep in front of everyone. Airlines like American have already deployed this system in states like Arizona, New Mexico, and Virginia. If you try to board even slightly before your group number, the scanner flashes red, the machine beeps loudly, and the gate agent has to send you all the way back. For older travelers, that moment can feel humiliating, even though you didn't do anything wrong. So, here's the safer approach. Stay seated until your exact group is called. Check your boarding pass for the group or zone label, and if hearing announcements is difficult, sit closer to the speaker area, or tell a gate agent you need boarding clarification. They will help you, and seniors are always prioritized. This one change prevents stress, protects dignity, and keeps your flight smooth from the very first step. Mistake 2. Taking the front row assistant seats. At almost every boarding gate, there's a simple front row of seats facing the counter, nothing marked, nothing labeled. But for older travelers, this unmarked row carries one of the most important unwritten rules in the airport. It's quietly understood to be for passengers who need extra assistance. Seniors, travelers with mobility challenges, and anyone who relies on wheelchair boarding. And yet, many younger passengers sit there without thinking twice, leaving older adults standing in the noisiest, most crowded part of the gate. For seniors, losing that seat isn't just inconvenient, it can mean missing a boarding call, mishearing an announcement, or feeling rushed when your group is finally called. One missed announcement can send the entire start of your trip into confusion. So, here's the truth. If you need that seat, take it without hesitation. It was designed for travelers like you, and if you don't need it, leave it open for someone who does. It's a simple act of respect that makes a real difference. This small invisible rule helps protect older travelers, but it only works when everyone understands it. Mistake 3. Not preparing your boarding pass and ID. Boarding lines move fast, faster than most older travelers prefer, and when that moment comes to step forward, everything suddenly matters at once. Your phone, your boarding pass, your ID, the noise around you, and the pressure of people waiting behind you. For seniors, even the smallest delay can feel like the whole line is watching. That's why being ready before you reach the podium makes all the difference. The confusion usually comes from what happens next. Agents may ask you to place your bag into a sizing bin. Not because it's oversized, but because they want to label the bag correctly. And in a crowded gate area, that quick request can feel overwhelming for seniors who don't want to hold up the line. So, the best way to stay calm is to understand two quiet signals. A full printed baggage tag means your bag will go to baggage claim, while a small tag on the handle means it'll be returned to you right at the aircraft door. And before you hand it over, always remember to remove your essential items, like medications, chargers, travel documents, or, anything valuable. Once that suitcase disappears behind the gate, you just won't see it again until the airline decides it's time. It's a frustrating moment, but honestly, knowing how the system works can turn it from stressful into something a lot more manageable. Mistake number 5. Storing your bags the wrong way. For older travelers, the moment you step onto the plane can feel like entering a narrow, noisy tunnel where everyone's rushing at once, and really, one small mistake here, usually involving luggage, is what slows everything down. That's why one of the most important unwritten rules is knowing exactly where your bag should go. The overhead bins are shared space for all passengers, not reserved for the seat directly under them. Larger carry-on suitcases belong up there, placed on their side with the wheels facing inward so they fit more efficiently. Smaller personal items like a purse or backpack should go fully under the seat in front of you, not by your feet. This isn't just about rules. It keeps the boarding line moving and prevents those last-minute situations where someone is forced to check their bag because overhead space has run out. And here's something many seniors appreciate during long flights. Once the plane takes off, you can slide your personal item back behind your knees to create a little extra leg room. It's a small comfort, but on a packed flight, small comforts matter. Understanding the simple placement rule keeps boarding smooth, reduces stress, and helps you settle into your seat without feeling rushed or in the way. Mistake 6, the one question flight attendants wish older travelers would avoid. Boarding is the busiest, most high-pressure moment for flight attendants. They're scanning the cabin, securing luggage, managing seat assignments, and handling last-minute issues, all in a very short window. And yet this is the moment when many older travelers ask for help lifting their carry-on into the overhead bin. It's a completely natural request. Luggage gets heavier with age, and those bins feel higher every year. But here's the part most seniors never hear. Lifting bags isn't part of a flight attendant's job, and many airlines explicitly tell them not to do it to avoid injuries. When you ask, they're forced into an uncomfortable position. Say no and feel rude, or say yes and risk getting hurt. If your bag is too heavy to lift, the safest choice is to ask a nearby passenger rather than a flight attendant. People are generally kind, especially when they see an older traveler struggling. And if a bag feels too heavy to lift at all, that's a sign it may be better checked at the gate. Knowing this small rule keeps everyone safe and prevents an awkward moment before the flight even begins. Mistake 7. Switching seats before takeoff. Once you're finally on the aircraft, it's tempting to grab an empty aisle seat or slide into a window spot that looks more comfortable. After all, you've been standing, waiting, and navigating the airport, and you just want to sit somewhere that feels right. But for older travelers, switching seats too early can create the exact kind of confusion and stress you were trying to avoid. Before takeoff, flight attendants must verify that every single passenger is in the exact seat shown on their boarding pass. An empty-looking seat might actually belong to someone still boarding, someone connecting from another flight, or someone receiving mobility assistance. And when that person arrives, the situation becomes awkward, especially for seniors who feel pressured to stand up, shuffle bags around, and change seats in a crowded aisle. The better approach is simple. Go directly to the seat printed on your boarding pass and stay there until the plane is in the air and the seatbelt sign turns off. Only then, if there are empty seats available and the cabin crew gives the all clear, can you move without disrupting the boarding flow. This tiny bit of patience protects you from unnecessary embarrassment and helps the entire flight depart smoothly. Mistake 8, settling in without setting up essentials. No matter where you end up sitting, aisle, window, or middle, there's one truth every older traveler eventually learns. Comfort isn't about the seat you're assigned, it's about what you do after you settle in. Once the boarding chaos ends and the cabin finally quiets, this is your moment to prepare for the flight ahead. Older adults often feel the strain of long flights more intensely: stiff joints, swelling legs, dry air, or simple discomfort from sitting too long. That's why setting yourself up early makes such a difference. Make sure the essentials you pulled from your carry-on, medications, snacks, chargers, headphones, are within easy reach. Adjust your seatbelt so it sits comfortably but securely. Place your personal item under the seat in front of you in a way that lets you stretch your legs without losing access to anything important. And if you need something, now is the time to ask, not later when the aisle is blocked with meal carts. Most importantly, don't hesitate to prioritize your comfort. Small adjustments early in the flight can completely change how your body feels by the time you land. If you'd like even more practical ways to stay comfortable on long flights, there are simple tricks that older travelers swear by. And honestly, they make every mile feel easier. By the time the cabin doors close and the engines begin to hum, most travelers finally relax. But older adults know better. Comfort and confidence in the air come from understanding the little rules that no one ever explains out loud. And now, with these unwritten boarding rules on your side, every future trip becomes smoother, calmer, and far less stressful. You've learned how to avoid the embarrassing error beep at the gate, how to claim the front row seats meant for seniors, how to prepare your documents so you never feel rushed, how to stay calm when your carry-on is taken, where to place your bags so the aisle doesn't turn into chaos, why flight attendants can't lift heavy luggage when it's safe to switch seats, and how to settle in so your body feels better from takeoff to landing. Each of these small changes has an outsized impact for older travelers. They protect your energy, they reduce confusion, they spare you from unnecessary stress, and they make flying something you can actually look forward to again, instead of something you endure. If you're ready, I can move on to the final call to action section written specifically for senior travelers with a warm close that encourages them to stay engaged and prepared for future trips.